Good day guys. We have been learning about the arteries of the lower limb, basically the blood supply of the lower limb. So in the earlier video, we learned about the femoral artery and its tributaries. Now we'll be discussing about the next main artery of the lower limb, which is the popliteal artery and its branches. So now, as I told you already, whenever we learn about some arteries or any blood supply, let it be the arterial supply or the venous supply, we got to learn about the origin and the termination. So the origin of the popliteal artery is the continuation of femoral artery. So when the femoral artery reaches the adductor hiatus, it continues as popliteal artery. So the popliteal artery terminates as the anterior tibial artery and posterior tibial artery when it crosses the lower end of popliteal muscle. So when the popliteal artery crosses the lower border of popliteal muscle, it gives rise to anterior tibial and posterior tibial arteries. So now we'll learn about the branches of popliteal artery. So the popliteal artery has 5 main genicular branches. So the first 2 branches are superior lateral genicular branch and superior medial genicular branch. So the first 2 branches are superior lateral genicular artery. The second one is superior medial genicular artery. And the next 2 branches is at the inferior part, which is nothing but inferior lateral genicular artery and inferior medial genicular artery. It also gives a branch in the middle called as middle genicular artery, and in the end it gives rise to 2 branches which are nothing but the sural arteries, lateral and medial sural arteries, to supply the soleus muscles. So I hope we are clear about the popliteal artery and the branches. So we'll go with a quick summary of the popliteal artery. So it is the continuation of femoral artery. When reaching the adductor hiatus, it gives rise to popliteal artery, and it terminates as anterior tibial and posterior tibial artery when it crosses the lower border of popliteal muscle. So the popliteal artery has 5 main branches, 5 main genicular branches, which are nothing but the lateral and superior lateral and medial genicular arteries and inferior lateral and medial genicular arteries. It also gives rise to middle genicular artery and 2 lateral and medial sural arteries. And there is something called as the genicular anastomosis, which is the anastomosis, a collection of arteries in the knee joint. So the genicular anastomosis is the in the knee joint. So what are the arteries? What are the branches of arteries which form the genicular anastomosis? So the branches of, the genicular anastomosis is formed by the branches of femoral artery, profundus femoris, which is nothing but the deep femoral artery, the anterior and posterior tibial artery, the popliteal artery. So I hope you guys are clear about the popliteal artery and its tributaries and the genicular anastomosis. So thank you so much for your time. I'll give a heads up on the next video, and we'll be discussing about the branches of anterior tibial and posterior tibial arteries, which is the next main arteries of the lower limb.